It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Tartarus Beers, and this is the Wolpertinger Helles Lager, coming in at 4% ABV. So the can design on this looks really interesting. First time I've ever seen a Wolpertinger. It looks like a kind of strange ferret rabbit type thing with multicoloured wings. Now all of these Tartarus beers are based on, some of them, not all of them, some of them are based on Greek gods, and I think this is just to do with, like, they find figures, historical figures, whether it's a strange rabbit thing or a Greek god, and they build the beer around that, and I think that's quite good. I think it's quite exciting. The beer was kindly sent to me by Stephen Claxon. Thank you very much, Stephen. We'll touch more on that in a moment, but first and foremost, let's get this 440 milliliter can out into a glass and see what we get. Oh, there we go. A full can of beer there. I'm using my German lager glass for this one, with it being a Helles lager. Helles being a German style lager. It suits it, doesn't it? There we go then. There's a look at the beer. Bit of a spillage going on. That's down to me, not the beer. We got a 3-finger white head. Lots of carbonation. Lots of carbonation on this one. In fact, it's one of these beers growing the head. So much initial carbonation. Is it a widget on the bottom? Yeah, there's a small... Actually, no. No real widget on the bottom of here. I think it's just a really nicely carbonated Helles lager. Look at that. So slightly hazy, lots of carbonation, straw coloured, a builder of a head. Let's get the aroma. So I'm going to say traditional hops used in this beer, maybe some Saaz hops. It's quite dry, it's quite spicy, it's quite peppery. There's a little bit of earthiness coming through on this. But it smells good. Let's dive in. Let's get rid of that head straight away. Yeah, exactly that. They built this to be a traditional German Helles, and there's nothing better. It's a brilliant style of beer, Helles lager. It depends what mood you're in. If you're in a mood for something really bitter, well, not really bitter, but more kind of like pushing towards a bitter lager, then choose a Pilsner. If you're looking for something where you want to experience maybe a little bit more of that grain and a little bit less of the bitterness, then I think the beer of choice would be the Helles lager. Super crispy, super refreshing. Lots of carbonation in this one, lots of carbonation, which is, it is starting to die down now a bit. There is a little bit. Let's see if there's any sediment here in the bottom of the can. Not really, not really. So it starts off, lots of crisp grain, lots of light, wafery, biscuit-like grain. Light, fluffy, kind of wafer flavours coming through. That then goes over. It's very clean, it's very clinical, it's very refreshing. With the beer being 4% ABV, you obviously using, I shouldn't use the word obviously, my apologies. Nothing's really obvious if you're learning about beer, and I presume that you all know about beer, but if you're using less malt, you're creating less alcohol. But if you're using less malt, the beer becomes more refreshing, because being 4% ABV, this beer is going to be something like 96% water. The beer then goes over to being, not as bitter as Pilsner. I just did it again, didn't I? Of course. Not as bitter as Pilsner, but it's just kind of like layered back a little bit. It just used a little bit less of the bittering hops to produce a Helles lager. So it's more kind of like centered around like a middle balance. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of bitterness, 4% ABV, super crispy, super refreshing. You could really drink this beer. Oh, I could drink this all afternoon long. It's really good. And I'm just going to show you another Tartarus beer here, because this is in my kind of list of things to do very shortly. This is one of those kind of like figures again. That's got to be some kind of Greek god, maybe the dark lady god, who I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I'd be all right if she visited me in a night. Yeah, I think I could tame that. I could deal with that. Slightly muscular female. Yeah, nice. Joking apart, yeah, they're all based on the mythological figures, Greek mythological, or as I said, some kind of weird rabbit. It's all about like a figure in the beers. But anyway, Tartarus beers, they produce anything from porters, stouts, IPAs, lagers like we have here, saisons, sour beers. Their range of beer is absolutely fantastic. They produce some great stuff. So check out Tartarus beers. And the reason why they're able to produce all of these beers is because they took over North Brewing Company's original brewery. So they already moved into a place where it was purpose built to produce lots of different styles of beer. And that's exactly what they've done. They've probably got a good brewing team there. They've got people who are very good artists. You can see that. Very artistic people there. And I'm pretty sure the beer sells really well, because their beers are always very good. And I want to thank Stephen Claxon thank you very much for sending me the beer. I really appreciate it. So rating for this one then, this Helles lager. It's good, it's chuggable, it's drinkable. A drink all afternoon type of lager. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.